Hello, can everybody hear me? It's me, it's Lawson. I'm back. after 2 weeks off because I've been tired and lazy, as I'm sure you can all respect. But I'm back now, painting more goblins. And how is everybody doing? I wonder, am I just being quiet again? No, I think I can be heard. I think I've got it right this time, although that all looks a bit off. There we go, I think that's a bit better. There we go. Right. Sorting everything out. Cool. Things. Happy Sunday, Lawson. Hello, HR Hoss. Ooh, I like that name because I like saying the word Hoss. So, happy Sunday to you too, Hoss. Wonderful. So, yeah, I think we've sorted out the white balance there. I've got my coffee. I've got my goblins. I've got various paints. And this is the last. This is actually the last goblin unit I need to paint, and that's the Gitmob box done. So I'll show you what I've done first, actually. Cool. Off you go. So we have good old Drogs, the Sun Chomper. Just here. I really like his model. He's so cool. And then reading about him, it's the wolf that's in charge. I keep wanting to call him the horse that's in charge because just the horses being in charge is very funny to me. But it's a wolf, and he's in charge. And then we have one unit of Snarlfang cavalry. Ooh. So I'm just casually throwing them all around the place. And these have come out very nicely. And then there is a second unit of Snarlfang cavalry, but I'm just going to be running them as a unit of 6, so there's no champion in this one. Yeah. Let's have a look at them from the other side. Oh ho ho. Very nice. And then, just as I finished today, one of the Sunstealer Wheeler chariots. Been sort of painting him on and off today. All done. So yeah, so it's just this last chariot, 2 goblins, and a little totem. The rider, like the driver, is already done because I painted the wrong one at first. So I painted him thinking that he went on this one, but he doesn't fit on this one, he only fits on this one. They're not interchangeable. So yeah. And then hopefully, if I get a fair bit way through done, if I get a bit through this to a nice part, I think what I might do as well is I've got some Chaos Marines on the side here that I'm going to be doing test schemes on for the Emperor's Children, which comes out next week. So I've got some ideas in mind. As I've got one specific idea in mind, and I want to try and see if it actually works, because in my head it looks very cool, but there is always a disconnect between my brain and my fingers. So we'll see. We'll do the test scheme later. I also need to paint Iron Jaws because I'm going to a tournament and I've decided to paint Iron Jaws, and I don't have an Iron Jaws army, but that's neither here nor there right now. So we'll just get cracking with the knacking. And we'll start with an old wheelie chariot. So I'm just going to do pretty bog standard wolves for this one, because for most of the wolves I've just kind of done wolfy colours. Some of the wolves I've given like a red back to, just because I think that looks cool, because it does. So But this is a mix of Rattling Grime and Black Templar or Black Legion, I can't remember which. But this I use for like dark armour, for like blackened armour, metallics. But if I thin it down a little bit and put it over wolf fur, it makes a nice wolf tone, I found. So I'm going to use my 13-year-old wash brush first. To do the big parts, and then we'll use the smaller brush to do the little bits and pieces. So, how is everyone this fine Sunday evening? Are we good? Are we well? Are we painting? Are we playing? Are we perusing workshop websites for new projects? I know I am. I spend a good portion of like almost every day window shopping. As was said many, many years ago, between me and my friends, we were discussing, we were just saying how great it would be just to like have like one box of everything in the range. And then then one of my friends very quietly just went, "Yeah, but what would you paint first?" And that has been a monkey's paw issue. It's been a constant existential struggle of mine, that even if I did have one of every box, I still wouldn't know which one to paint first. Oh, hello, Doug. I didn't see you sneak in there. He's crazy sneaky, too. Painting some wolf butt. And yes, these GITs have mainly been contrasted, because everybody's like, oh, it's only 9 models in the box, oh, it's 99 models in the box. Yeah, but there's 2 goblins on every wolf. So that's 6 wolves and 12 goblins. So that's 18 models right there. Then there's 2 wolves and 3 goblins on the Sunsteel Wheelers. So that's 10 more models. Getting ready to DM a campaign for some friends. Ooh, what system? Is it D&D you're doing, or is it something else like Pathfinder, or I can't remember the name of anything else. It's been so long since I've played a tabletop RPG. God, just trying to get in all nooks and crannies. I think I thinned this down a bit too much, but that's okay, because you can always just go back over it, do like a second coat to make it a darker wolf skin. I'm not being overly precious around the head with like the teeth and the tongue and everything, and the inside of the ears, because I can always just go back and repaint those parts with some bone colour. I try and paint every Sunday, but I'm currently trapped by a 4-month-old napping on me. Well, I don't really know what to say to that one. I think it's generally frowned upon to just sort of, dump a 4-month-old to the floor and be like, out of my way, infant. I have models to paint. But I don't know. I don't have a 4-month-old. But if that's my mindset, it's probably good the reason why I don't. I hate playing D&D. So is it still in 5th edition? Has new D&D come out yet? Because I feel like Wizards have been threatening us with new D&D for a while now. And I'm sure my local game store has started selling a new player's handbook and a new Dungeon Master's Guide and all that. But you know when you're out of the loop and you're like, I don't know what any of this is anymore. What am I joining, Doug? I gotta be careful with you, Doug. I'm always worried with your invitations. I might just get press ganged into your next commission. But yes, I have enjoyed painting the Gloomspite Gits box, but I am going to be very glad to not paint cavalry for a little while. He says, knowing fine well that the Soulblight Gravelord box has cavalry in it. But that's a problem for future Lawson and future Lawson's wallet. Probably should have done these in sub-assemblies as well. I thought I was so slick actually doing sub-assemblies for this. Oh, it's just it's an update, not a new edition. Alright, okay. That's fair. As I said, my only real interaction with Wizards of the Coast nowadays is Magic the Gathering. And even then, that's like, whoa, that's like fucking very casual. Because, like, I'll see an advert or an event for like a new set for Magic, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It's like, you know, I might peruse there, have a look. And then usually, like, the price is sometimes astronomical. Or it's already all been bought up, and I go, oh, okay, well, never mind, next one. Oh, the big screen in the background. Oh, you're very welcome, my dude. It's good to hear from you. Just painting Gits on a Sunday evening. Oh, your Inquisitor campaign. Oh, God, yes. Love to join that. One day. One day I'll save up the coins and get myself down to Wales. Oh, there's a leg over there that I've missed. And then part of his arse. It's very important that you paint all of the wolf butt. You will look foolish to friends and family if you do not paint all the wolf butts. That's what I'm realising. I'm not actually painting on camera here. I adopt the opposite position quite a lot, where I just paint very close to my chest because it helps me control my hands, because sometimes they might shake. Just a bit of the wolf crotch there on this one. And the ring there. Actually, what I might do here is, I know I've done it a bit light. That may work in its favour if I just do a bit of dry brushing over the top. Hello, Nerdy Goth, good to see you. I hope you're well. Right, since I've got some of that on in my little fidget popper palette, I'll put it to use and use that for the wood and the weapons and whatnot. So half of the spear, the bow over there, and then probably the staff with the brazier on it as well. And that can be the wood, sort of non-regular wood. Because the chariot itself is made of like big wood beams there, and then like some kind of wicker or something. So I like to mix it up a bit and have different woods. There's actually not a lot of wood on this bow because he's got little armoured bits on it, which I'll be doing in. And then these leather straps. Go. There we go. That all. Yeah, that's all quite nice. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then yeah, just the there we go. It's wobbling around like hell, but we'll sort you out once you dry. Okay. Let's put a little bit extra. Darken things down a bit. At least along the top, I think, like along the back. I'll add another little bit. And then it gives a bit of difference to the overall look of the wolves. I'll probably still dry brush over just to down tops of his legs, the thigh region, and I'll do the same here. So extra thick layer on top, same for his back and his flank. Flood the top part here, here, and heavy across the top to about halfway at the mane. I think that should be a little bit of dry paint there. So it's not like the neatest, the smoothest, or the prettiest sort of tone in the world, but it gives a basic idea of what we're doing. And I feel like it justifies my existence somewhat. I don't know how, but yeah. So yes, Emperor's Children next week on the painting things. But no, D&D stuff, haven't done tabletops in a very long time. Magic the Gathering's taken a bit of a back burner. I did manage to get my hands on a beta kit for the Gundam TCG, which was sweet. Gave that a demo game in store. It was awesome. So I managed to get my hands on a beta kit, which very cool. I'm very happy with. And then also been playing a lot more One Piece, because I got Mikey into One Piece, I got all housemate Chris into One Piece, or some of you may know him as Shriggis, and another friend of ours, Carl, and our respective partners. We're all into One Piece. We're all having a great time. One Piece is great, and it's absolutely brilliant because, again, none of us really know anything about the characters still. So that's been great fun as well. And just getting more cards, being like, I don't know who this person is. Right. So what should we do next? I'll continue doing the boring browns. We'll get the boring browns done. So let's see. Wildwood, Gore Grunter, Snakebite, Black Legion. Well, Snakebite for leather. I want to keep that as it is. Now, what I've been doing with some of these is like inverting them. So if you can see it more on my cavalry. So if I take two of the same cavalry, within reason, which ones will fit best? This what I'm doing here. Yeah, so, sort of like this. So if I do. So if I do like the wolf colour on one, it'll become like the leather of the other. Kind of like, just to make everything a little bit more visually interesting, because you know the Gits aren't they're not really like a cohesive force in the classical sense. They're just a loose association of morons and wolves. So I may do, just to make the two of them look a bit different, I may do the same thing. So I might flip it and do the Gore Grunter for the heavy wood, and then do the wild wood for the wicker. Yes, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. So get the Gore Grunter first. So I'm going to put some here, some here. At this point it's just to again, this is tricky. I thought I was being slick by just leaving the goblins off, but I probably should have left the wolves off in two parts as well. But then if I put things in too many sub-assemblies, I never paint them. Gore Grunter is such a lovely colour. And it's a wonderful name, Gore Grunter. Named for the big pigs. Well, the mini big pigs. The big pigs are the more grunters. Right, so I'll just paint all these bits underneath. As well. Don't have to be terribly neat doing the underside, because if anyone looks at them, I'll call them a weirdo. So what the hell are you doing? Look at the underside of my models. So wayward. What do you call it? Bristle. And we'll do the wheels in the same colour as well. Well, as much as we can anyway. As much as can be seen. Yes. Yes, Jeremy, this is the this is the box set. So I got the box set on release. And I've just been painting away. But like I said, I've got approximately, well, it'll be 6 days now to get this last model finished. And then the whole arm, and then the sort of I've got a little bit more basing to do, like the base rims and a few weathering powders. But then that's another army box. That's Army Box 2 of the year complete, and it's on to Emperor's Children. Oh, that would be like I did manage to get my hands on a beta box, but it's an X demo version, so it's been sort of like lightly played a little. If there is a spare beta box at your store, Germany, please contact me. But otherwise, I would rather it go to your local community. Because like I said, I've got a copy, but it's sort of like it's not a brand new one. And I would like to get a brand new one to open the packs and what have you. However, it's not vital, and I'd much rather it go to somebody who plays the games in your community than just this random chucklefuck on the internet. There we go. Ooh. Right, so I think that's, yeah, that's all the Gore Grunter wood done. Give my brush a wishy wishy. And then we'll do wildwood for the wicker. It's a lovely wicker texture on the baskets for the chariots. However, it's one of those things where it's like that kind of texture that your brush catches and does little air bubbles. So I think I've got the whole thing like nice and painted, and an air bubble pops and there's just like a little bit there showing. Just taunting me with its unpaintedness. And then we'll switch to the smaller brush for the little details. Oh, and the end of it there. Champion. Yeah, you should see the new painting project I am sending off within a week or so. Personality. Oh, I'm gonna have to have a look at this. Bear with me a moment as I red spire stone. Excuse me a moment while I have a look at the TTRPGs. Ho 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 ho! Yeah, that's unreal. That's gonna be. I always forget with your D&D stuff. It's all like layered, so you can open it up and actually be playable. Oh, that's so nice. That is gonna look glorious. I see stuff like that, and it calls to me like the Green Goblin, because although I don't play TTRPGs anymore, I do really want to find I have like a hair trigger excuse to completely bury myself in 3D printers. So to get like an FDM printer and then just start printing that kind of stuff out. Or props. If I find the time, I really want to get into prop making. I find it fascinating. Go nooks and crannies. There we go. Lovely. So that's all those bits done. I can absolutely see why the skirmish game guys would want to use that. It's very cool. Right, is there anything on here that could be? No. I think they're all fine. Okay, right. We'll do leather next. Shouldn't take too long because it's just like a couple of. It's just the straps on the wolves, the little cushiony bits. Do I want to do the cushiony bits a different color? I will. I'll do the cushiony bits a different colour again, just to add a bit of interest. Oh, excuse me. How uncouth. But any little leather straps like these ones that are tying in these shards. It is all very brown and boring at this point, but I assure you, I will be introducing actual proper colours soon. Just these couple of straps here that strap down the blades. And I'll show you how I do the sun metal blades, because I don't think I've shown on camera how I paint sun metal, because I was trying to work it out for a long time, and then it was easy. Again, it was one of those things where I was just overthinking it. Thankfully, snakebite leather is quite strong, so even though I've overspilt a bit with the fur colour, that's not the worst thing in the world, because I can paint over it with the snakebite leather, and it's all good. You just sort of swish swash it about a bit, it all blends together, it's fine. That's the lie I tell myself. See, and that still contrasts nicely against the fur colour, so that's okay. Yeah, that's alright. And then we'll just paint the fur in on the other side, the leather on the other. Inside of you are two wolves. Both of them require painting. Ooh, what video games have people been playing recently, if any? I always like to know what people are playing. I'm always on the hunt for like other games. Ooh, the underside of the wolf is not dry, so it's going to be a bit of a smooshed mess there, colour-wise, but that's alright. Bob the Cat 2, you have a question. Ooh, what's your question, Bob? The Cat 2. Oh, sugar. Actually, you know what, I'm going to be painting that metal anyway, so that should be fine. Right. I don't know why I'm closing that. I have leather to do on goblins. Can people see this all right, or do I need to move the camera in a little bit? I'm always wondering. Because I can move the... If that's any better. And then... Oh. There we go. We'll go with there and see how it goes. I think it's because my light's a little bit too bright as well. Gloomspite goblins always look demented and crazy. Yes, they do, because they are. So most of the Gloomspite Gits are followers of the Bad Moon. So they worship the Bad Moon, and they are loon-crazed maniacs, and usually on something like shrooms or something like that. And then there's this new box set is the Gitmobs, who follow the Glareface Frazzle Git, who is the sun, because the way that they see it, the sun bullies the moon away. So something that big and hard to bully the moon must be worth worshipping and following around. Because although the Gloomspite Gits are hilarious, they are still evil. They do unfortunately sort of aspire to be mean old bullies themselves. Oh, and he's got a little strap for like a tooth or a doodad there. I'll paint the doodad leather as well, because it all just merges into one in the end. There we go. And then to see the... Yes, his belt at the back here, and then the straps across his... There we go. So, do you have any other leather bits and bobs? No, I think I've got just this. Just leaving that bit up there. Lovely. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Now I'll go with the other one. So yes, video game wise, is anybody playing anything interesting at the moment? No, I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds because I love Monster Hunter. Although I haven't been playing the series for very long. I started playing Monster Hunter World. I had a Monster Hunter game on the PSP, but I did not understand it whatsoever. So I played it 2 or 3 times, and I kind of assumed that I was like, I don't get this game. It's weird. There's no health bars, and the enemies don't make sense, and the weapons don't make sense, and I'm not gaining experience, and it's no, that's not how any part of the game works in Monster Hunter. I was like, oh, okay. So then when Worlds came out, got that, sunk hundreds of hours into it, then didn't bother with the series again until Wilds came out the other week, and I've been having a great time with that. I've just hit the high rank stuff, because at first I was a little worried, because I started playing it and I was like, this is easier than I remember it. And I'm like, I know Monster Hunter isn't Dark Souls hard, but it puts a bloody challenge up for you. You just you have to play the game. You can't really steamroll the game very well. At least I can't. But I was finding that I was getting a lot of item, a lot of crafting equipment and such quite quickly. And then I realised, lower rank, high rank. I've hit high rank, and I'm like, yeah, freaking, that chicken's got hands. But it's good fun. I get to dress very fashionably in my hunter armor. I also, when I was doing the character creator, one of the presets just looks exactly like Conrad Kurz, Primarch of the Night Lords. So I just named my character Conrad Kurz. And my palico is called Sevatar. Okay, so this little bit here is a leather strap. I'm very glad that I learned from my mistakes of painting the cavalry and done these in sub-assemblies. Otherwise I've never been able to get them all painted with the being in the chariot. Let's see, while the chariot's still drying, I keep going with the goblins themselves. Oh, excuse me. So I'll just get these guys done as much as possible before hopefully that's all dry, and then I can move back to doing bits that are across all the parts of the chariot. So the little armour panels and things like that. Okay, paint this. He's got bare arms. This guy's just wearing a vest. Go, go. Oh, why are you doing that? Stop that. There we go. That's better. Sorry, sometimes my computer likes to occasionally remind me that I have an external hard drive. Right, that's very nice, thank you, but it's not the screen that I wanted right now. There we go. So just this sort of face and neck. What else have I been playing? Oh, they just put Balatro on Game Pass, and that has... Woo! That has taken time out of my... Because I'm always like, oh, I'll just do like one quick round, see if I can, you know, win a run. And then I don't, and I'm like, let's do another one. And then another one, and then another one, and I just keep doing it. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, there's all the... How green is my goblin? This is nice and easy. His little green knees. Little green. One hand. Just got to be a bit careful with the other. And the other hand. Can't miss his little fingertips. Ooh. face. Can't forget his other ear. On the back of his neck. Oh, just a little smacket ear there. A little smacket ear there. And there we go, there's 2 green goblins. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh! Oh! Crunchy. Very crunchy. Oh. So I don't want to get too ahead on the goblins because then I'm just going back and forth using the same colours at different times. So let's take stock of where we're at. So it's metal, bone, and red armour, and then the sun blades. And here it is. Oh, and the cushioning. And then here it's the armour, the cloth, the shoes, and the sun blades. Okay, so at least I'll at least sort of base coat the sun blades, and then that's something. So the sun blades are super simple to do. So it's just a quick coat of Imperial Fist. It's a nice, such a beautiful bright yellow. So we'll do that here. Spear, and the same on the blades of the chariot here. Making sure we do the top, the edge, and the underside, even if people aren't really going to see the underside, just in case someone catches it at an angle. There we go. And then same on the other side. Top. Pull sides. Because there is still just like a little bit of a lip on the blade. And then we'll turn the model upside down and do the underside. Both sides. Just again, this is mainly just for those weirdos that pick up your model and turn them around 3 times in their hands for some unknown reason. And we will do the same here. Because it's the same basic principle with the sun blades as with sort of any kind of brazier or fire. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Go. Now what can we do? We can do the cloth. So that's Storm Fiend. Yeah, I know that feeling. I don't play as many video games as I used to. Now it's when I play video games, it's just sort of like something. Like I don't have the time investment anymore to be doing like ridiculously huge video games. So it needs to be a video game that I can kind of keep doing little and often, I guess. You know, with Monster Hunter, I can do like a hunt here, a hunt there, and it's like, yeah, cool. I'm done. You know, I've killed a monster, I've hunted a monster, I've got this, I've got that. There we go. Move on to the next thing. This guy's going to get a nice blue cushion. The other one had a red cushion. Go. Oh, try and get in there. I played a bit of Marvel Rivals and I did have fun with it, but then like I don't have a mind for shooters. I'm only gonna like I did try, like I got to like level 10 or whatever it was, unlocked ranked, and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm gonna play some ranked. Oh, I got my shit pushed in. And this is when like the game had been out for like only like a couple of weeks. And I was just like, oh, I don't think ranked's for me. And there's a gaming convention I'm going to next Sunday, Unstoppable Gaming. It's at the Biscuit Factory in Newcastle. So if you're in the northeast of England, go along to it. I think you can buy tickets online, or you can buy them on the door. They're like a £5. Starts at 10, but there's a Marvel Rivals tournament with prizes, which I think is very cool. There's also like they're also doing like Pokemon draft tournaments and things like that. All sorts of cool things. So I'm going along to that. But I wish to spectate the Rivals tournament. Okay, yeah, I think the blue cushions is a nice little change. Not the best, but you know, it is what it is. But now I'll do the cloth on the guys. I think the Stormfiend blue works really well with like the warm browns and the hot armor colours that I've been doing. Also, reading through the battle tome, all their sun metal is kind of like scavenged from high elves, or the Lumineth as they're called. So my thought was like, maybe they probably like pinch their cloth as well. And so a lot of the Lumina, like one of the Lumina colour schemes is like this nice blue and white. So I thought, oh, why not? They've stolen their shirts as well. Oh, and then just that little smack of shit in the V there. There we go, perfect. Oh, still a little bit around his knees. That's alright. Get it on the second bounce. There we go. Okay, and the shirt part. A little bit of a spill there, but that's okay. I picked the Storm Fiend paint up just on a pure whim, and it turns out how many Age of Sigmar armies do I have? Right. That is an excellent question. I think the only I think I've basically got, I think it's like half and half at this point. So, I have a Stormcast army. So, we'll go through the Grand Alliances. So, for Order, I have a Stormcast army. I have a... You know what, I'm going to have to bring them up. Bring the list of the Grand Alliances up, and then we'll go through. So, Age of Sigmar. Right. Cities of Sigmar. No, I don't have an army for them. I don't have Daughters of Cain. I don't have Fire Slayers. I do have Ideneth Deepkin army. So that's one. I do have a Caradhran Overlord's army. I don't have a Lumineth army. I technically have a Seraphim army, but it's just still in the box. I do have a Stormcast Eternals army, and I do have a Sylvaneth army. So from order, I have 1, 2, 3. We'll say 4. I'll discount the Seraphim because it's not in any usable shape. So that's 4. Death. I have a Flesh Eater's Court's army. I sold my Nighthaunt army. I do have a Bone Reaper's army, and I've got a Soulblight Gravelord's army. So that's another 3. So that's 7. Chaos. I have Blades of Khorne. 8. I have Disciples of Tzeentch. 9. Don't have Head Knights of Slaanesh, but I do want to get them. And then Maggotkin of Nurgle. Technically, but not really in a usable state. I think I may have given some of it to Mikey. I can't remember now. So we'll discount that one. Skaven, yes. So that's 10. Slaves to Darkness, big yes. That's 11. And then Destruction. So Gloomspite Gits. I will say yes, because what I've got here, the Gloomspite Gits box, is a fieldable army. It's about 700 points, I think. Ogre Tribes, no. Auric War Clans, yes, both Ironjaws and Cruel Boys. And Sons of Behemat, no. So that's 12, 13, 14. I have 14 Age of Sigmar armies. Jesus Christ. And none of them are fully painted. Well, actually, once this is done, the Gloomspite Gits will be my first fully painted army. for Sigmar. Like, I have painted lists, but I don't have a fully painted army. Like, every model in the army is painted. I mean, as much as I would love to have, like, my Flesh Eater Courts done and all painted, it's just not going to happen anytime soon because I got given a load of, like, old Hammer, like, old fantasy models, which have kind of been cycled out now to a certain degree. Well, some of them have, some of them haven't. But it's in, like, it's like double figures for those. And I'm just never going to get around to painting them anytime soon. That's going to be one of those days where I suddenly, like, I don't know, I just have one of those afternoons where I'm like, I'm not doing anything, I'm not speaking to anybody, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to take these 40 ghouls, or these 40 zombies, and I am just going to batch paint them over the course of, like, 1 or 2 days. And I feel, like, frighteningly productive with myself, and then I just do not find or match that energy for another, like, 18 months to 2 years. Right, so that's that. Oh, I've missed a bit of blue on his shirt there. God, yeah, no, when I say it out loud, 14 armies.
That's too many armies. I think I might need to part company with some of those.
Okay, so that's so what do these have left? Just the armor panels and the shoes.
panels and shoes. The actual fire in the metal. And armor panels, metallics, and bone. Okay, quickly can do the bone, because that's just one quick colour. Skeleton Horde. There we go, nice quick. God, Skeleton Horde is great for like bone and teeth and things of that nature. Right. So that. I think I might paint the head part here, the ramming part, in red armour. I might do it metallic, I'm not too sure yet. Just do just doodle that one. I don't know why I'm yawning, I've not done anything. But yeah. Oh. Yeah, let's just do the red armour. No, we'll do the orange bits first, because it's how I'm going to be working up. So, I don't know why, but I arbitrarily decided that like some of the like body armor should be orange, but the helmets are all red. So, not too sure why. I'll just get those painted in now, and then I can do the orange on the sun metal as well. I can show you how I do sun metal weapons. It's easy, it's messy, but it gets the job done. There we go, get his belt done. Whoop, 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 whoop. Round back a little bit here. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And we'll do the same on the other. Another goblin here. I know these bits probably should be metal, but I'm not being overly precious because it's a tiny goblin on a chariot. People are going to be mainly looking at the chariot part, not the goblin part. But I was tempted to take these guys because I've got to go into a one-day tournament at Warhammer World in May, which I think I may have mentioned. But I'm a bit like... I mean, nothing's locked in yet, but I've got my idea that I'm going to take Iron Jaws, because all I need to do is buy the Iron Jaws spearhead, and then adding to what I've already got. That makes my perfect army. But I was partly tempted to do Gits and add like a bunch of like squig hoppers or something like that, like just really keep the army mobile as all hell. But I don't think I can bring myself to paint any more of these. Not right now, anyway. I'm looking forward to painting Iron Jaws because they're a bit more chunky. Oh. A little bit there around the back. There we go. So that's the orange of there. So we're going to wash this off. Then I'm going to take this dry brush, and here's where the sun metal weapons comes in. So take just a little dab, the orange here, blot most of it off onto the here, and we're not dry brushing, we're stippling, just like this, all up the weapon. Now with these, it's easier to keep in mind if you think that they kind of like have like a square. They got four sides, and then you don't miss anything like that. So you kind of want to keep some yellow in the middle, but it's mainly just like just stippling that orange on. Okay. And then we're going to do the same here. It's a very, very light stipple. Kind of following the pattern of the blade, like blade segments with the bigger ones. And then I'm just going to splodge a bit underneath. That's a little bit too much actually, I think. But we'll just splodge a little bit underneath and that's fine. And then do the same on the other side. So splodge. Stipple. And again on the underside. And then here, my weekly D&D session got cancelled and I am beside myself. I'm here. Well, I am sorry that your D&D session was cancelled, but I am very glad to have you here. Tell me about your current D&D campaign. What's going on? What's the general gist? Are you the DM or are you a player? Okay. Here I am just dry brushing for the flames. Just like that, nice and easy. And then we'll wash that. Dry brush. Oh.
We're all bounty hunters and scoundrels aboard a ship full of undead stormtroopers. Ho ho ho! That sounds good. So this is like Star Wars D&D when you say stormtroopers. Or are you fighting Nazis? Either way, I'm in. This sounds great. Please tell me more if you can. Right. While you tell me more, I'm going to ramble about paint. That's very cool. I like that a lot. Okay, so now we're going to do red helmets and then red doodads here. And I think I might do a red wolf head there. Yeah, I'm glad that I can bring an aura of calm and soothingness. I have been described by some as the human capybara. But I think that's just because I look ridiculous sitting in a hot bath with an orange on my head. So are you playing like D&D system rules and just like reskinning it for Star Wars, or are you playing like a Star Wars RPG system? Because I know there was one I played years ago with friends. And I think it was Fantasy Flight that did it. But it was kind of like a beta thing, more than like a proof of concept sort of thing, little pack. And my buddy was like super into Star Wars. And I was like, yeah, Star Wars is pretty cool. Like, Darth Maul, he's a cool guy. Obi-Wan Kenobi, absolute G. And yeah, no, that's fine, because I know some people who like will reskin D&D, and then some people who will actually will play like the licensed system of like whatever IP that they're doing. But I played was it a smuggler? Yeah, I think it was a smuggler I played. Yeah, called Adonis Painkiller, and his beautiful ship, the Necrotic Scarab. But unfortunately, because I don't know how I managed it, but I tried to throw in this system. Like, turns out stormtroopers fucking hit hard. Like, they're not chaff enemies that you just like kill them all. So we're getting our absolute asses kicked by these stormtroopers in the hangar, and I'm like, I want my ship. Let's clear these guys out. I throw my one grenade, and then for whatever reason, it just blows up in my hand. So in the very first session, I like lose my arm and have to get that replaced with a robot arm, which led to very hijinks over the course of the campaign, because I would like make bets with people that like, oh, I can absolutely be like withstand this or withstand that, but I also my character would occasionally forget that it was a robot hand, so would like grab electronics and like electrocute himself and take extra damage. But all in all, very fun time.
or another member of the party was a Wookiee. However, we all deliberately did not take... Was it Wookieese, or does it have another... Or does it have an actual name? Either way, none of us could actually speak Wookiee. So it wasn't until we got like an envoy onto the Scarab that anyone could understand what our Wookiee was saying. And it was really funny because he was like the smartest one of all of us. Yeah, not a single person in the party could understand him, but he was like the smartest one of us. But he could understand like everybody else. He was the smartest one. He was like even force sensitive, so he would occasionally like, do like little like force tricks, like grab things telekinetically and stuff, and we were just like, haha, isn't that's our dog meat. And yeah, endlessly hilarious, but always very frustrating for the guy who was playing the Wookiee. But he knew that was going to happen. As soon as he said he was playing a Wookiee, I was like, I am purposely not going to understand the Wookiee. Because I just feel like in the Star Wars universe, it's just kind of really weird that everybody understands Wookiee. Oh, no, I'm not quite finished. I need to do these bits. So, goblins are done in red. Do this. Using the big brush for the big parts, and then I'll use the little brush for the little parts. What a guy I am. But I do very much like the sound of your current campaign that you're doing, Seeking. Because, like, they did undead stormtroopers in one of the shows recently, didn't they? Was it Ahsoka? I want to say it was Ahsoka. Because they, like, brought back Thrawn, or like made him canon again. Which, I mean, like, let's face it, we all knew that was going to be a when, not if situation. Because, like, Thrawn's the most interesting character that they've done in the expanded universe since, like, Revan. And they're not going to touch Revan. Because you're just going to have so much explaining to do to people who are, like, just, like, casually into the Star Wars. Absolutely should, my dude. Just remember to paint on camera. That's kind of the whole point of this. Right, I think it's probably time to switch to the smaller brush. I don't know much about Darth Bane, but like, I know bits and pieces about Revan. Again, mainly through osmosis of my friend who I lived with at the time. Big Star Wars fan. Like, would play like all the Star Wars games and stuff like that. Like, I played a fair number of them, but like, he would just play anything Star Wars. And then he would tell me cool stories. And I'd be like, that's a cool story. Tell me more. But there was a lot of cool stories. And I forget stuff. But yes, I would like them. I'd like them to do Revan. In some way. Even if they just sort of... I don't know, maybe if they just turn him into like a looming presence in the franchise. I think that's kind of what... I have someone into a one-shot campaign called Weepy Goblins. God love me. Thank you very much, Seeking. It was lovely to speak with you. You have a lovely time with your one-shot. Take care of yourself. But now I'm thinking about Star Wars. I think Star Wars is missing like a looming threat at the moment. And I'm not saying it needs to go down like the Marvel path of like, here's the Avengers level threat for this series of films. But even just like a little something. Like just a guy or a gal lurking about the place, being a wee bit evil, playing some sides off against each other. Speaking of Marvel, I did start watching Daredevil Born Again. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Just kind of nice to see a truly Catholic superhero. Like, he beats the shit out of the bad guys, but my lord, does he feel bad after he's done so. Right, what else? Oh yes, the sun. I'm hoping that if I just... Yeah, the red contrast is just powerful enough to overpower the wood, the gore grunter. Dandy. Do the same on the other side, and then it's the sun blades again. And we're doing exactly the same thing again, but we're just doing a little less area when it comes to the stippling. The idea being that like the further out you go from the center of the blade, like the cooler it gets. Because I couldn't find any good examples of like actual sun metal, so I thought, right, I'll just do hot. So I can't go wrong if I just do like hot fire weapons. Okay, anything else that needs to be right? Oh, I just missed a little bit there. There we go. Get it watched, John. It's a fabulous show. I've like, it's only 2 episodes out at the moment, but it's been good. It's been really good. I mean, my main watch at the moment is Reacher season 3 because I love Reacher. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Oh, something went down the wrong pipe there. Saw the new Captain America yesterday. In credit 1, something's coming. So enjoyed it. I've heard mixed things about Captain America, but at this point, I think it's like... It's weirdly trendy to like hate on Marvel at the moment and things. It's like, I don't think... Like, I think superhero fatigue is a thing. I think, but I don't think it's superhero fatigue. I think it is. Thank you. I think it is. It's the Marvel formula fatigue. I think that people are a bit. It's the quippy. It's the quippy one-liners. It's the hard to take it seriously because everything's a world-ending threat, but these guys are just sort of like, oh my god, that just happened, and that's like, yeah, it sucks because like you want to care. Like the characters don't care about the world that they're in, then why we as the audience should give a shit. But I'd quite like to. I'm gonna go see Brave New World when I get a chance. Probably when it hits Disney Plus at this point, to be honest. But you know, that's fine. Because like, if superhero fatigue really was like the issue, then like people wouldn't want to watch The Boys. And The Boys is still like massively popular. And stuff like Invincible as well, again, popular. It's about telling a good story, like using the conventions of the superhero genre. Like, I still think, like, you know, like Ant-Man 1, really good because it's a heist movie, but it also happens to be a superhero movie. The Guardians films are really good because, again, they're ensemble comedies. There are also
superhero movies. Okay, and yeah, a little bit more on the flame thing there. Okay, so I think it's just metallics on the stave and the thing. Yes, yes, yes. And then some shoes. It's fine. And washes. Okay, it's doing pretty well there. Yeah, I think Sam Wilson was always going to be a worthy successor for Captain America. It makes sense. It's also nice to see that they're actually going to be referencing the Eternals in some way, because there was like half a Celestial sticking out the planet at the end of that film, and nobody said anything, which was kind of weird. But if I lived in the Marvel universe, I probably wouldn't mention it either. I'd just be like, I'm just too tired. Like, there's always something going on. Always something going on. It's like, I just want to rest. I just want to have 5 minutes to not do anything. Okay, so it's metallics, shoes. Right, okay, so do that. Okay, first I'll quickly paint the underside of his booties, because I forgot to. Very rude. On the rider, there we go. That's that done, champion. Oh, just a little bit there. Okay. Get these shoes done. Well, the reason that The Boys works is because Garth Ennis has sort of made his living by understanding exactly what a superhero is, and like what a comic book movie, like not what a comic book movie, but what a comic book is and what it means to be a superhero, and the sort of like the genre conventions that come with it, and then actively fucking despise it. Like, Garth Ennis absolutely hates superheroes. Hey, night John. You sleep well, my dude. Thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, Garth Ennis absolutely detests superheroes. I'm not even like making this up. There's like loads of interviews with Garth Ennis where he's just like, I hate superheroes. Which is why he did something like The Boys. But what I will say is, when it comes to The Boys TV show, anyone who's currently watching the TV show, and you think to yourself, oh, well, maybe I want to read the comics, don't bother. the TV show is far better than the comics. And like, the comics are good. Like the first couple of books, great. But it rapidly nosedives. Whereas the TV show has kept a good level of quality throughout its couple of seasons. So I'd just say, just watch the TV show. Right, is there anything else black that I want to... No, it's just sort of metallics here, and then so this is the last part of Sunblades, is the black part, to look like it's, you know, when you see like swords being forged and they start getting that like black crust on them. I know there's a name for it, I don't know what it is, but that's what we're simulating here in the last step. Again, now this one is a little bit sort of more all over the place because I kind of want it to look like that like crust stuff that I was talking about before. And then we'll do the same here. So we're doing like a little bit of like the stippling splodge again. But what I do is I do a little bit more off, and then I can do a dry brush. One, because I do the dry brush here on the back part of the smoke. And also I kind of want to get a little bit of dry brush effect, just these hard edges on top of the Sunblade. And that gives it a little bit more definition to it. And there we go, it's the Sunblades done on the chariot and on the goblins. Yeah, that's it, Goth. Like, well, he knows I think like he knows the source material. Like he knows the genre conventions like really well. He just really hates superheroes, and I'm like, you know what? Fair play to you. Like, without that drive to defy convention, you wouldn't have groundbreaking and, you know, revelatory bits of art. And, you know, we'll call it what it is. It's art. Like, you know, people don't want to say comic books are art or whatever. People don't want to say video games are art, but like, they are. They are creative endeavors. I mean, okay, yeah, there's a lot of you know, pencil pushing and like studio interference and like corporate shenanigans involved in with it else. But at the end of the day, the expression is still ours. Somebody still wants to tell a story. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take Berserker Bloodshade, and we are going to wash that all over the red parts. And then I have just seen the time, so I think we will call it there once I've got the washing done. The wash is done. Yeah, Garth, but yeah, no, Garth is in this is absolutely fantastic. Love his running, his Hellblazer runs. Absolutely, like, wonderful stuff. Oh, stop that. Very rude. Because, like, Hellblazer is one of my favourite comics of all time. Like, just John Constantine as a character is my favourite. I don't know, it's not Constantine, it's Constantine. I don't know how much I don't know how much sort of into Hellblazer you are, nerdy, but as a fun little bit of trivia, I am actually from the city of the eponymous Newcastle incident of Constantine's origin. And then I can't remember what issue it is now, but it's fairly far along in the run when he comes back to Newcastle to, like, face down the, like, insanity thing that's been dwelling at the site of the Newcastle incident. What I absolutely adored was reading that. They got the architecture perfect. When he gets off the train at Central Station, it is a perfect version of Central Station in Newcastle Town Centre. I've even myself have travelled to the part of the city where the club / ballroom, the Newcastle time is. No, I didn't escape. I am here as a guardian. Or I'm trapped. Yeah, Jamie Delano's run's really cool. I have a couple of, like, signed Hellblazer comics, and I got one signed by Andy Diggle. And again, I can't remember the issue. I think it's in the 200s or something like that. But Andy Diggle, it's a beautiful, like, the cover of the issue is absolutely beautiful because it's Constantine in smoke, and he signed the comic, and then he wrote a little speech bubble and he was like, "All right, Lawson," and I was like, "Yeah, this is the best." And I sometimes like to look at those comics and think, "Yeah, that's cool." Yeah, I've been a big fan of Hellblazer for many years. It was genuinely, like, heartbreaking when the series ended, and I've never brought myself to read the new runs that they did for DC, because I just feel like it's not going to be that's not my John anymore. And like, I'm not worried about it. Like, oh, it's you know, it won't be edgy enough, or it's all PG because it's mainline DC now and things like that. Doesn't bother me, because like, sure, it dealt with mature themes and things like that, but Hellblazer didn't need to be. Hellblazer wasn't graphic for the sake of it. It just dealt with more adult themes. So if you walk that down, you can still have a really good John story. But I just don't think that characterization wise, he's going to be the same. Because any new run means he's not got that 30 years of misery behind him. It shaped him into that wonderful, magical, chain-smoking bastard he is when I was reading it. Maybe one day I'll read the newer DC stuff, but the Vertigo is just it's a perfect 300 run. Absolute home run series. And I'm quietly hopeful that we see something good, like with like Justice League Dark or something like that, for James Gunn's, like, his DC movies and television and whatnot. Because I think it's such a weird thing that, like, because I feel like DC does magic and mythology better than Marvel does, but it's really like they're so gung ho with like Superman, which isn't a bad thing. I love Superman. He's like such a great character when he's done right, but like they have such good like magic and mythos. You know, with like Cersei and Wonder Woman and like the Amazons and like Zatanna, the Lords of Order and the Lords of Chaos, with like Dr. Fate and yeah, they just do magic and mythology so much good. And I'm quietly hopeful, because with Gunn's announcement years ago saying that he was taking over the DC slate, he did say it was like chapter 1 was being called Gods and Monsters, so I'm hoping there's like a little bit of magic and mythology in there. But only time will tell. You know, we're going to have to wait till July to see Superman, and then who knows what from there. But anyway, right, so that's all shade and done, so I should be able to get all that done, which means next week, all going well, I'll be doing Emperor's Children. So thank you everybody for tuning in and letting me ramble and talking with me, and thank you for everybody who is subscribed, who watches our stuff. Big thank you to all of our members as well. And if you like the stuff that I do, you can find me crafting kaiju on Blue Sky and Instagram. Sometimes I knock around the Discord. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, keep your brushes sharp and your palettes wet. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Ta-da, people. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye.